Watching the president of the United States receive what basically amounts to a participation trophy today has got to be some of the greatest secondhand embarrassment I've had in quite a while. So, Donald Trump today was at the 2026 FIFA World Cup draw in DC, where he met the FIFA president, who gave Donald Trump the newly created FIFA Peace Prize, which was basically created out of thin air to make up for the fact that Donald Trump has never and will never receive a Nobel Peace Prize. And the whole spectacle was just a little sad. And all online, it's already being dubbed the Timu Peace Prize by quite a few people. And look, this none of this had to do with diplomacy or fun. This was about a bunch of people getting together to stroke the ego of a fragile man and who wants something he didn't get, so they're giving him a charity prize instead. And I think that is what has become so sad about international diplomacy right now. It all becomes about how can you kiss Trump's ass the best, no matter how low you have to debase yourself to do it. And before Trump even received this award, there was some buzz around what it was going to be and if he was actually going to get it. Clearly, he knew he was going to get it, but he was asked by Caitlin Collins from CNN how he can justify receiving an award like that, given his track record on peace these days, especially with all of the bombings we've seen in the Caribbean. And this is what Trump had to say about it. Let's take a look.
Very, very big.
You're expected to get the FIFA Peace Prize, Mr. President. What would you say to people who say that prize might conflict with your pledge to strike Venezuela?
Well, I think the Peace Prize, I settled 8 wars. I don't know that I'm getting it. I haven't been officially noticed. I've been hearing about a Peace Prize, and I'm here to represent our country in a different sense. But I can tell you I did settle 8 wars, and we have a 9th coming, but which nobody's ever done before. But I want to really save lives. I don't need prizes. I need to save lives, and we're saving a lot of lives. I've saved millions and millions of lives, and that's really what I want to do. And I also want to run a great country. And the United States right now is the hottest country anywhere in the world. And 1 year ago it was dead. We had a dead country, and now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world.
First of all, I think it is so funny that he claims he has no idea what's happening. He's standing next to the FIFA president. Obviously, he knows he is going to get this fake Timu Peace Prize, but he's trying to build up the suspense and pretend like, me? Am I going to be the one who's lucky enough to receive it? Well, I guess so. And this whole claim of, well, I've stopped 9 wars and I've saved millions of lives, none of that is real. Like, what he has done, he's taken what is a couple of foreign policy successes and blown it up into something that doesn't exist. A lot of the things, and I've tried to look into this of what the specific ones he's talking about. So many of these conflict resolutions he is taking credit for. First of all, were never armed conflicts. They were never wars. In some cases, they didn't even exist. But it doesn't matter, because every time he comes out there and talks about it, the story gets bigger about the number of wars he's ended and the number of lives he's saved. He will have in his head solved 100 wars by the end of his term. And it's just ridiculous, because someone has gone to him and told him that to make him feel better. And that's what's sad about it. It's like, you shouldn't have to do that to the president of the United States. The president of the United States should have their head firmly rooted in reality, so they understand what's going on in the world. And that's what a lot of this comes down to for me, is the fact that the president has been put into what can only be called a safe space, which is pretty rich and ironic given how much conservatives love to complain about safe spaces. The world Donald Trump lives in today can only be called a safe space because it's safe for him. It is not part of reality, and it's embarrassing to us on the world stage. And while we have seen some Republican pushback happen over the past couple of weeks, as we've seen Donald Trump's poll numbers start to plummet and him getting dinged on the economy, and a lot of Republicans, particularly in the House, see the writing on the wall and realize that his time is going to come and that he's deeply unpopular and that they need to start thinking about a post-Trump world. Some of the biggest Trump loyalists still can't help themselves. And they are feeding the narrative that Donald Trump latches onto and tries to claim as reality. And nobody showed that better than Mark Wayne Mullen, the senator from Oklahoma, this morning when he was giving an interview and clearly was talking about the exact same thing that Trump watched and used to parrot later in the same day. Let's take a look at what Mark-Wayne Mullen had to say.
So President Trump is taking a hard look at this. He's trying to end the war. He's doing everything he can possibly do. He's now ended 9 wars since he's been in office. He would love to make this one the 10th. But as he said even last night, that this is the toughest one he's had to negotiate. And he thought this was going to be the easiest. But
so clearly, all these people have been given this narrative. You got to go out there and talk about how many lives the president has saved and how many wars he's stopped. And again, it creates these spectacles that are sad to watch. And that is what happened when he got up on stage to accept this prize today. It really felt like everybody was clapping along for a Make-A-Wish kid. And so, when people call Donald Trump the Make-A-Wish president, this is the golden example I think we have moving forward. And so I want to play the clip of him triumphantly going out there to accept his fake peace prize. Let's take a look at that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, this is your prize. This is your peace prize. There is also a beautiful medal for you that you can wear everywhere you want to go.
I'm gonna wear it right now.
Okay, let me hold. Fantastic. Excellent.
It's literally like all of these people have built him a padded emotional playroom. Like that's what it feels like. And it's surreal to watch. And they're treating him like a kid with a sticker chart. And sometimes I think sometimes these days happen. And look, the president doesn't always have to be serious and locked in and having no fun. Like over the, presidents can have days like this where they go out and do things, and that's fine. And honestly, sometimes these days happen and they almost feel preferable to the days where Donald Trump actually has to go and act like a president because he's incapable of doing that. And it usually leads to him saying something terrible or causing direct harm to people. So sometimes I see these multi-hour periods of time where he's, gone from things. And it's like, well, he could be harming people otherwise. So maybe this is a good thing to keep him distracted. And don't worry, after he received his award, the whole thing transformed into full Trump bar mitzvah mode, complete with his favorite band and his favorite dancing. I got to show you the clip of Village People playing YMCA and Trump seemingly having the time of his life. Let's take a look at that. Now, look, obviously Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, and Claudia Sheinbaum, the President of Mexico, not having a lot to do with that. They're talking to each other. They are not engaging with Trump on this one. And I think that is also something that happens in this era. Obviously, when the President of the United States shows up to things, there's always weight to it. And that is the focus in the room because we are the most powerful country on earth. But when Trump shows up to things, it, without a doubt, it becomes the Trump show. And that is, and you can tell that these world leaders are just a little sick of it and they don't want to deal with it anymore. And so they kind of politely clap along and they try to ignore it as much as they possibly can. But I think what is interesting about this too is this whole debacle and spectacle is pretty embarrassing to watch from the outside looking in if you're not in MAGA world. What I think has been pretty interesting is online after this event happened today, there were all these MAGA accounts trying to use these clips and this prize as a way to claim that Trump was showing off his vitality and joy and how lucky and blessed are we to have President Trump. And it's like, no, it's pretty sad that we have a president where an entire event that wasn't even supposed to be about him, an entire event had to become about giving him what amounts to like a sad participation trophy versus what the event was actually supposed to be about, which was supposed to be all of these countries in North America coming together to do a draw for what is going to be a big, multi-continental sports event in the, across Europe, or sorry, across Canada and Mexico and the United States next year. And I think, look, at the end of the day, this prize is meaningless, but the consequences of the fantasy world Trump lives in are not. And I think that is the problem here, is that, we Trump lives in this safe space. That is clear at this point, and he has no interest in getting out of it. He hasn't traveled domestically hardly at all this year. He's not talking to normal Americans. He's jet setting around the globe and meeting with the most rich and the most powerful people. He is just so disconnected from what normal people are experiencing and going through right now. And that is what is leading to his collapsing approval rating and his deep unpopularity with the American people, because they see this type of stuff and it's not fun and cute to them anymore, because so many people are hurting. And they see this and they see, okay, this is an unserious president who doesn't seem to care about what is going on with me and my struggles. And as Trump's administration continues to build this safe space and this bubble around him, he becomes increasingly detached from reality and the real world. But guess what? We all have to live in that real world. And as they keep building that up around him nonstop and removing him as much as possible from the realities of what's going on, that gap is becoming dangerously big. And the American people are sick of it. The country lives in a real world and not a fictional one. And when they build this kind of psychological playground for Trump, the rest of us are the ones dealing with the consequences of his inability to take the presidency seriously. That is it for me today. If you liked what you saw, throw a like on this video, follow the Demwins Media YouTube channel, follow me at buildingthebench.substack.com, and we will keep bringing you the news as you need to see it. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.